Good and credible evidence, that's a challenging, I think, set of concepts. And I'll start with evidence and what I think we probably mean by evidence, which is the sort of body of knowledge, a source of material, research, findings, data analysis that can contribute collectively to answering a question, to giving us directions for policy or practice, to mobilize a body of knowledge around a particular issue. And when we've got evidence, so what do we mean by good evidence? I think obviously the research that goes into it, the findings, the analysis have to be rigorous, transparent, robust. And of course, as we've been discussing today, there are certain sets of criteria for that, some of which are related to the scientific method, the methodology, the transparency of the methods. But of course, we also know that certain kinds of methods are prioritized over others. And I think for good evidence, depending on what your question is, we also have to think about what are the questions, what are the voices perhaps that we haven't taken into consideration, what are the issues that maybe have been hidden, that were excluded from our method. So I think there's a lot that goes into the question of good evidence. Part of good evidence is it being credible, and being credible means it, being transparent enough that we understand where it's come from, where the data's come from. But credibility, I think, may also mean in this context credible to different audiences. So who are the how legitimate are the actors who are presenting this evidence? Who are the voices that get heard in that process? What's the context in which it's going into? So for example, there may be a political context where the same kind of evidence is accepted or not accepted. And we all know there's scientific evidence from climate change to vaccinations where we have a lot of good science, but not necessarily legitimate for certain parts of the population. So there's always questions, and I think it gives us the sense that knowledge then, and credible knowledge, is also about politics, power relations, audiences, and processes of legitimacy that mean different groups may or may not accept that evidence.